In this video, we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of primary and secondary data. So a reminder of what these are. So primary data is data collected by the person using it, and secondary data is data that has not been collected by the person using it. So primary data, the advantages are the collection method is known because you've done it yourself. So you know how accurate it was, and you have control over the questions or data being collected, so you can tailor make it to your needs. The disadvantage is it's time consuming to collect, and it also can be expensive to collect. Now, secondary data, the advantages are it's easier to obtain, it's cheaper to obtain, and data from large organizations can be more reliable as they have a lot more results. So things like the National Statistics Office collect copious amounts of data which are very useful for you to use in the right circumstance. The disadvantages are the method collection is unknown. So if this was data you found on the internet, you don't know how the data was collected. It may be out of date. So if you're doing primary data and you've collected it yourself, you know when it was collected and how, but with secondary data, you're not so sure on this. The reliability of the source is unknown because you've not collected it yourself, and it also can be less specific. So you might not be able to find answers to the questions you're trying to ask. So you have to kind of collect something that's somewhat similar, but not what you're looking for. So let's look at it as a couple of examples. So state whether you would use primary or secondary data for the following questions. So you're asking for the favorite type of music from students in a school. I would say this would probably be a primary data would be the best one to collect because the population is not particularly big. And if it's a school in which you work in, it's very easy to set that up and collect. Average income of people in a city where you live. Well, a city where you live could hold 100,000 people or more. So it'd be very difficult to collect primary data for this, especially if you want an average income. So for this one, secondary data may be useful because the National Statistics has data for incomes and it's split up into regions.